All right, guys. So President Biden just unveiled his $2 trillion infrastructure plan. Now, on today's video, I just want to talk about, hey, how can we actually use this to actually take advantage, possibly make some money from it? Now, this is just going to be my opinion. I'm not going to be talking about if this is a good idea or if it's a bad idea, my thoughts on the plan, and I'm not actually going to go into that, all right? But I am going to talk about what can we do to actually possibly make some money from this. And let's start now. Work. All right. So it says here, the Biden plans outlined it Wednesday includes roughly about $2 trillion in spending over the next 8 years and would raise corporate tax to about 28%. Now I want to stick to this part right here, 28%. Now when we're looking at the stock market, since they are going to raise the corporate tax rate to 28%, I do believe that we may see some sort of weakness in it, and it may start even earlier before it affects. Once this goes into effect and we see the corporate tax rate go up, we may see some weakness in the market. Now, as for me, what I would do, and of course I do want to say I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just giving my opinions. Make sure you guys do your own due diligence and do your own research as that. All right, so something I would look for is companies that I do love. If they show any signs of weakness, what I've been doing for the past couple of months, I've been stacking up on cash, and all the times when we see red days, I actually take that money out and I buy companies that I do love, that I do believe is has a great future ahead of them, whether it be 5 to 10 years out in the future. Yes, I like to hold. I'm a long-term investor. I would buy and hold for the next 10 years, and not even, as long as I feel like the company's core fundamentals remain the same, I would keep my money in there for over 10 years, especially if the company's paying out dividends. Now, I only own 2 stocks that do own dividends, all right? But this is not a dividends video. We're talking about what I believe. So if we still see any weakness within the short term, we all know it's not about the time. It's not about timing of the market. It's about time in the markets. So if I see any weakness due to this, people saying, oh, they're not going to be as profitable because they have to pay a little bit more taxes. Now, what I am interested in this as well is Biden also said that he's going to find a way to stop companies from going to, outside the U.S. to actually take their business where they can find better taxes or whatever it may be. And it makes sense. If you look at California, a lot of people left California, go to other states because California's taxes was a little bit too ridiculous, and they decided to go somewhere else. So it does make sense, and we're talking about on a bigger level where companies doing the same thing, leaving the United States so they can go somewhere else and probably find it much better for them tax wise. Now what that does is we don't want that to happen, because that would actually cause jobs to go elsewhere as well, or some people may be able to actually leave the US and go to the different country that their company is going to, but that would cause a lot of layoff and things like that, and we definitely don't want nothing like that to happen. So I'm interested to see what does he have to actually stop that from happening. Like, is there some benefits that the company would get? Of course, yeah, they'll pay the 28, but they may find better benefits here as far. So I'm interested to see that part. It doesn't show it on this article here, but I am interested in seeing that part. As a matter of fact, let me pull up the article so you guys can actually see it. Give me one moment. There you go. This is what I'm actually reading from, and this is from the CNBC app. All right. So let's go ahead and see what does the proposal contains. All right. So we see that about over $600 billion into transportation infrastructure such as bridges, roads, public transport, the ports, airports, electric vehicles. Okay. Now, as far as that, one thing I would look as far as see how to take advantage of that part, I would actually possibly look into electric vehicles such as Tesla, Neo, any automotive industry that's actually trying to move or trying to get a foothold on the electrical vehicle situation right now. So I'll look into that. Maybe those stocks will do good over time. Now remember, this is not, and I'm saying here is going to be in the short term. It's not going to be, oh yeah, next month. We're talking about anywhere between now all the way up to 10 years from now, 2030. Okay, so it's not something that you're gonna boom, put your money in and get money the next month. There's going to be some time here. All right. But not just electric vehicles. What about construction companies, construction industries? Like, even with this, I've been looking into some construction industries or some construction stocks where I can possibly take advantage of to maybe buy in, and maybe they'll take, maybe they'll find some lucrative deals as far as the government paying them to actually fill. We're talking about the entire United States, roads, bridge. Of course, you're going to need to pay these companies to actually fix those things. So we got over $600 billion going into that. So who's really gonna profit from that? I'll look into industries to see who has the best chance, which companies has the best chance of actually receiving some of that money, and how will their stock price perform when that money comes in. Now, of course, this is just a proposal. This is not the final copy. We have no idea. Anything can happen. It may pass. It may not pass. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to talk about what's in front of me right here. Okay. Now, the next thing we do have is 400 billion in care of elderly and disabled Americans. Maybe we can check out the healthcare sector for the disabled. The medical bills, the medical stocks and things like that. Maybe there's some opportunity there. I'm not too familiar. Like, that goes way above my head. And unless I know that industry real good or have a good idea, I wouldn't go into it or look that far deep unless I find something that gives me a good understanding of the medical industry, and maybe that can possibly be a good thing for those kind of stocks. All right, so the next one we have inject more than $3 billion into improving drinking water infrastructure, expanding broadband access, and upgrading electric grids. Now, this is another industry that I'm not too sure in. Okay, like as far as the maybe the broadband access, maybe we could find some 5G stock plays. Maybe those will be profitable as far as if you were to invest into them. But as far as me, like that's the only play I would go. As far as everything else, drinking water, I wouldn't know where to start to look for companies like that may benefit from a proposal like this. Okay. Now we have, let's see, they plan to put about 300 billion into building and retrofitting affordable housing, along with constructing and upgrading schools. Now, this is another industry that the construction industry is going to have to, is going to take play in. If I were to look at construction stocks, which stocks is going to be the best stocks for me to get that would actually take advantage of that, and most preferably that's going to take advantage of that 6 billion and that 300 billion, and maybe that's a good play to invest within the next 10 years. Now, the last one is invest over 500 billion into American manufacturing research and developing and job training efforts. That one, that's just research. I don't see any way that, of course, everything I'm saying is in my opinion, but from what I know and from my understanding, I don't see any way that can benefit. And if you guys do, comment down below. But that's pretty much the tax plan that I've researched on. Let me know if you guys like videos like this, and if you guys are watching, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. I just want to be able to give out my opinion. This is all this channel is here for. We talk about finance, we talk about mindset, and a whole bunch of things like that. So if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on this video, comment your thoughts down below, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day.